top voted tags. Disturbing, gross, unsettling, creepy, cringeworthy, explicit, shocking, terrifying, awkward, and graphic.
See, we can, and I've got other things over here from Rotten Tomatoes of people. The Gospel Coalition. Everyone should be able to say it is wrong for a film, any film, however well intentioned, to depict close up, lingering shots of scantily clad 11-year-olds twerking. Well said, sir.
It seems like she was trying to bring like awareness to the over sexualization of the younger generation and how they're more exposed to sexuality and stuff, and how it's easier for them. They see the people that are older than them, doing all this twerking and stuff, and the nail biting and all the sexy biting the lip and all that stuff, and they try and emulate it, because that's who they're looking up to. That's what's on TV. That's what whoever's popular or whatever. That's what they're doing. So
like WAP, Cardi B,
women in problems.
Yeah,
they go.
Women are problems.
Women are problem. Boom, dog. Straight up sugar.
I know it.
No, I don't know the director. I haven't talked to her at all.
I watched a small interview. It was hard to follow. She was talking all...
She's French, isn't she?
She's talking all French trash.
No,
she was talking English. I just got annoyed.
Because you didn't understand her? Or
she was hard to follow, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was English, though.
Yeah. I understand that.
Foreigners.
Mainly Canadians.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Bearded Cactus.
Hello.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Julian.
Today we're going to talk about the subject of morality.
Ooh.
What is it to be moral? What is it to be immoral? What is it?
Immoral or immoral?
Yeah.
I'm immoral.
I'm right inside of it, bro.
I'm right in that morale.
Got a whole cup of morale right here. Check us out at thebeardcactus.com. You can click to go to our YouTube channel on there. We also have a merch store. It says MERCH.
Merch.
You can click it. Get banana colored.
Mercenary.
Fanny pack. And also we have yellow mugs for your coffee. Ooh. We don't have them right now, but I ordered them for us so that you can see. And next time we will have them. Wow. So we got this new thing coming out on Netflix. That the reason that spawned this is because
The Office again.
The Office. We're back.
Back to The Office.
There are so many. Well, there's not so many mixed emotions. People are disgusted by it.
I think the overwhelming amount seems to be disgust.
Whatever the director and writer said her intentions were, it seems that her intentions produced a movie that disgusted people because it looked like what she says she was trying to bring awareness to, which I get it. But start an organization.
Something.
Don't film 11-year-olds. That's child pornography. We're talking about the movie Cuties, by the way.
Cuties.
If you didn't know.
Not the little like oranges that you eat, not those.
Thing?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah. They're called Cuties or Halos. I think they're called Cuties.
Halo's a video game, dum-dum.
No.
And they're on Angels. That's a fact.
Of course. I've been wrong my whole life.
You're new here. So.
What a fool I have been and become. So the reviews that I've read, so yeah, you're going to have like the people that are like, doesn't matter, don't care what they were trying to get across, should never have made the film at all. I agree. I don't think children should be filmed like that at all, regardless of what awareness you're trying to bring. I think there's other ways to bring it. Like I said, I don't know the director or anything about her other than
She's
what
French.
I've read. Yeah, French.
Automatic
strikes
pervert.
2 and 3 right there. Woo! Sorry,
what else
Frenchie.
do I need to know?
Tell me where to sign.
Wait.
I'll sign the dotted line. We'll get her out of here.
You a pervert? Wait.
Wait. That's why you're a pervert. You talking about ways.
Yeah, all day long.
I heard you. So
on, if you know what Rotten Tomatoes is, it's like a rating of new movies that come out. People, whatever. It as critics, they gave it an 88% approval.
okay.
As as consumers like us, regular Joes watching it from the audiences,
Yes.
it was 3%.
Right. Well, they've done that with several bad movies. I mean, just like terrible movies. Like, oh, this is just a bad movie. But on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 97%. But then you'd be real hard pressed to find anybody that liked the movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, it seems like these critics are being paid, which they probably are because they work for Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of like you have to give a good review or whatever, or it's not going to look good on you.
But is it coming
You're
from a
gonna get a bad
standpoint?
review if you give a bad review.
Right? Oh, I'm leaving bad remarks on his website. So is it immoral for them to leave a good review being a critic of a movie like that?
Is it immoral for them to leave a good review?
Yeah, like for people to approve of this movie, does that question their moral compass?
Well, I think you have to, when you're talking about morality, you can't just pull morality out of thin air.
Yeah.
Morality has to come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't use you as my compass or my guidance or my standard for what morality is.
Yeah.
Because what if you're a great businessman? Let's just take our commander in chief, O.D. Trump, right now.
The Great White Hope.
Right. So great businessman,
Yeah.
definitely knows how to manage his money and his business and everything like that. Do I think that he's probably a pervert? Probably, yeah. I'm sure
He kind of looks like a pervert.
I'm sure he likes women,
I mean, look at his wife. He ain't gay.
He's not gay for sure, and he likes beautiful younger women. That's just the case of it. Now, there's probably I think that there's some stuff out there about him talking about like younger women. I don't know. That's but I think I've heard that somewhere. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's
I don't know.
fine. So, but the fact of it is, like, he's got a gorgeous young wife, so he doesn't have a woman his age or anything like that. So he likes younger women.
And they say money can't buy happiness.
It could buy some, it could buy some kind of
He
happiness.
bought a lot. He ain't mad about it.
I'm so sad.
Oh, I hate my life.
Wiping my tears with my fur coat.
my $1,000.
You can't buy me happiness. You can buy me some kind of happiness, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
Temporary as it may be, it's still
temporary can
happiness.
still be 50 years.
Yeah. It's only temporary, bro. Yeah, you're right. 50 years
50
is
years
only
is
temporary.
temporary.
It's all relative. Time is relative, right? So there has to be a standard beyond us to where we get morality.
Right.
Because if not, then the peg for morality just gets pushed farther and farther and farther away. It's like, okay,
Which I feel like is where we really are. Like,
yeah,
today.
because I believe that we're getting away from the moral lawgiver, the ultimate lawgiver,
Yeah.
and so So if we're getting away from that and we're making up our own ideas of what we believe morality is, then it's going to be like. Then you're going to have the people like, well, what about us? We're people too. And then they're like, oh, okay, then we'll include you. Well, what about me? I like to touch animals. Okay,
right.
but you're people too. Yeah.
I'm not discriminating.
So it's just going to keep moving and moving. And so if your standard is just this wavering line and it's not this steady course and it stays the same, throughout all of time, then of course you're going to be going up and down. And then sometimes it's going to seem like, oh, wow, what a moral country or what a moral place, because we're all inclusive and we accept everybody and everybody is included in all of this. And so, but it doesn't matter, because at some point you're going to exclude somebody, and then you've got to move the peg a little bit farther.
Which they're trying to do right now with pedophilia.
Sure, yeah.
Which is ridiculous. How
crazy.
can someone even think that that's just a sexual preference type deal?
And don't get me wrong, if it is a mental issue, if it is like something like mentally like
it is
wrong with you,
it is.
So it's like
you ain't born that way. Something happened.
So if there's something there that needs to be done, then something needs to be done. But that doesn't mean that we are like, oh, come here, guy, and then
you're okay the way you are.
That's not the way that it needs to be.
So someone who has a different moral compass than we do, because I know we both share the same moral compass. We believe the same way. We're both Christians. Yeah. Okay, so how does can people still be good without the same moral compass that we have?
Well, to get all biblical on you, I bring down that Bible. Then I will say, I will tell you, my little children, I got a condition.
Let me tell you about it. The harder the higher the God.
Eventually, it's gonna be more. Okay.
Sorry.
So, what's the question? Oh, yes. Okay. So, if you want to break it down and then get back when the rich young ruler came to talk to Jesus, and he said, good teacher, and then and if you know the story, you know the story. But he addressed him as good teacher. And he was like, why do you call me good? No one is good but God. And then, so you've got that example to where he corrects somebody to pretty much show him, like, why do you call me good? No one is good but God. Yeah. And so in order for me to be good, then you need to acknowledge that I am God. So you have that. And then it says, no one is good. No one is good. It says, like, our deeds and everything are like filthy rags. If you don't know, filthy rags, what they were talking about.
That's not good.
Menstruation cycle. Just keep that in mind.
So, a what? What? A men's what?
A menstruation? What's tration? Derek, do you have a tration?
Is that from that?
It belongs to men?
Is that from that European director?
You know how I feel about the Europees. I don't like them.
I don't like them at all.
Not too fond of them. And fawn sounds too much like fondle.
They're
and
a
I
bunch
don't
of
like
hippie
that
crits.
either. And you know how I feel about hippies.
I hate them.
I hate them.
I
hate all of them.
T-shirt.
Can people be decent without God? Yes. Just for the simple fact because of my worldview, we're all created in God's image. Mm-hmm. So you can have a serial killer that has done good things, that we would view as good things, like helping out in the community. In fact, they're more prone to do those good things to hide who they really are. People that do bad things can do good things. Yeah. I mean, if you break it down, would you say like recycling is a good thing? We could say it's
not me personally.
We could say like not littering is a good thing because you don't want to trash up the roads or the neighborhood or something. Yeah. Or you don't want to, fill the waterways with trash because all that has to get filtered out.
But if my beer can is empty, what am I supposed to do with it? I can't get caught with that in my truck.
Dale, you know the rule. You finish a 6, you throw it in the sticks.
Boom.
Everybody knows.
That's the rules. That's the law of the land right there.
Finish a 12. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Things will happen. people can do, I guess, what we would view as like good things.
Because I hear a lot of the argument,
right,
when you mention God, which
the argument like, why do I need God? I'm good, right? I'm a good person. Yeah. To bring people down to a level, it's like, which Ray Comfort does this, like, well, what makes you good?
Yeah.
Like what determines what makes you good?
Have you lied? Have you
like
stole,
all that. So you do the
cheated.
What do they call it?
5 fundamentals of freelance.
Topography, discography, bibliography,
all the ographies. Just don't be any of the isms.
Yeah, don't be that. Prisms.
That's never good.
Judaisms.
That's terrible. Judaism.
Judaism. So when I forget what he calls what he does. I forgot what he calls it. I keep wanting to say it's fruits of the spirit, but it's not that. I know that. I know that's not true.
It's really close.
Are you a liar? That's one fruit spirit. That's the spirit of the devil.
You ever deceive somebody or cheated?
Yeah. You ever?
That's fruit spirit.
You ever say the name of the Lord in vain? That's a spirit fruit.
Your hand could pass right through it.
Go ahead. Pineapple.
Try it.
Right through.
Fruit of spirit.
And so
the evil spirit.
It's gonna click to me like in the middle of a different conversation. Yeah. I'm gonna have to shout it out. But you have to bring people to where it's like, okay, you think that you're a good person. You think that you're moral. Okay? But why do you think that? Where do you get that moral compass from? Like it has to be coming. You have to get your standard from somewhere. So what is your standard for good? If it's society changes. So right now people say, "Oh, okay. Abortion is cool," and they recognize that it is a baby in there. They recognize that it is a child. It's a human.
A life,
but they have no problem with ending it, with destroying it.
Some of them even after.
Oh, yeah. I forget how many states it is, like, to where they can do it up to 9 months.
Really?
I don't know how many states it is. I don't think it's a lot. I mean, one is too many.
In my personal opinion, someone cannot call themselves a Christian and they believe in that.
I don't think so.
I'm not trying to judge their Christianity, but you know what I'm saying? Like that's Jesus called that specifically, and I know he was holding a little kid when he said it, or at least in the little Bible picture, that's all he was.
the kid that's always sitting on his knee. Boy had some comfortable knees.
That's why they had. That's where they got Santa Claus from. What do you want?
Probably that picture. We could use that.
Just make him much older.
Yeah.
And much fluffier.
Little jolly.
Some rosy cheeks.
Yeah. Look like he's been out in the snow a lot. Please.
But I feel that the moral compass of the world that we live in now is much different. And it's always a blame somebody else culture. Like if I'm not achieving what I feel I should have earned.
Somebody else.
Like a last episode we talked about dreams.
Yeah.
Like we talked about that it's the path that we took.
Yeah.
It went like this.
It's definitely somebody else's fault that I haven't succeeded in life yet. That's definitely not on me. I sat around. I waited for all the right opportunities, and they never came.
They never came and got me off the couch.
So that's not my problem that somebody didn't bring them to me. That's their fault.
But for some reason, and when you bring up like so I was watching the Jesse Lee Peterson or Pat. Is it Peterson?
I think it's Peter or Patterson.
I think it's Peterson. I'm pretty
Just
sure.
mumble it. Jesse Lee Peterson.
But he was interviewing a guy, a doctor who does all he does is abortions, and he got him to admit that it was a life.
Right.
And he still said that it's the woman's choice and all this stuff. And he's like, "What about the choice of the baby?"
Yeah.
Well, that and he, just back and forth. And when you get somebody not cornered, but you're asking about their beliefs, that believes this leftist, like far left way, that Democrat and all this stuff. They can't answer all the questions you ask them because they don't even know the truth.
Right.
And it's like their mind is sitting there fighting against the moral compass that I feel that God placed kind of in everybody a little bit.
Okay. I think we all have that.
Yeah.
Short of like a sociopath or a psychopath, because that's just
most people.
That's a mental thing.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you don't have to really you don't have to really say like, "Hey, is killing a baby wrong?"
Yeah.
Like just a baby sitting right there in front of you, and so
Nobody would say yes to it. I don't
like-
think.
it
I'm hoping.
right
There would be at least an 88%.
on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, critics say, but the consumers are like,
Only 3%.
Wait a minute, something's a little off about this. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, it depends on the baby.
Seems like, yeah.
Was it a hard birth? Because that baby was probably
Did the
fighting
mom-
on
did
the
the
way
mom
out
suffer?
of there. How many stitches did she have to get?
Yeah.
Well, then she deserves some stitches of her own.
Was it a C-section? If so, down with the baby.
Like I said, there has to be a standard for morality, and the standard can't waver. That's the issue that we face, and that's the issue that when you talk to people that are okay with certain things, but then you bring it up to like, well, how close to the line can you get? Because if you have abortion up to 9 months, up to term, and then like, okay, what is the difference between that baby and 30 minutes from now when it's out of the womb?
Nothing.
Location.
Yeah,
that is
that's
it.
it.
That's the only thing. That is the only issue. And they're like, well, it can't, like, and they come up with all kinds of
But see,
excuses.
a lot of their arguments for abortion is, I heard one say relationships or something like that.
Right.
That makes up a human being.
Yeah.
And what is it? Thought.
Yeah.
But a baby can't think for themselves for several months after they're born.
Yeah.
And if you do that at the other end of the spectrum, if
Yeah.
someone's really old and they have dementia, what do you just kill them then?
Well, that's like, let's just say, like John Mark's brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can't think for himself. That boy can keep a beat though.
He can.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can. Yeah.
I used to when he would
That's
start
why
doing
we
that. I
call
was like,
him Thumper.
I start making beats and stuff. He's like, start laughing.
Yeah. So you have that. You have him. He's not going to be able to take care of himself.
Yeah.
Like you can't leave him in the house and expect that he's going to be able to go feed himself or
Yeah.
clean up after himself or anything. You know, he can't do any of that. So, I mean, what about him? So, I mean, there's all these excuses, but then they've got an answer for it. But then you ask them a completely legitimate question regarding something similar to it, and then they're like, "Well, I don't know."
And he's like, "Oh, that's too broad of a." Like,
It's
shut
too,
up.
it's a nuance. So it's real nuanced and everything. There's really no excuse for it when you get down to it. If you get down to just like the brass tacks and you just want to get down to the nitty gritty of it, it's people want to do what they want to do and don't want to have to be accountable for what they do. They don't want to have to answer to anyone for their decisions or their choices. And they don't want to have to be made to feel like the decisions and choices that they made are bad, or going to get them in trouble or anything. They don't want to have to question anything because they don't want to answer to anybody.
And I think the transgender, or you can choose whatever, it's kind of the same mindset of morality. I can choose whatever I feel is right is right.
Sure.
And like you said earlier, like that's a constant like this.
Yeah, it's a constant up and down.
That's what I think God in the Bible is so pivotal,
Yep.
so important
Sure.
on the moral compass, because it gives you a true, unbiased, this goes for everyone, no matter creed, color,
Right.
Ideology, anything. If you apply this, it's going to be equal across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, morality is a belief about what is right behavior or wrong behavior, to a degree which something is right or good, the moral goodness or badness of something. And I feel like people, they want to wear the badge of morality without any of the action, just like people wanting to wear the name Christian without any of the characteristics or fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't do
yeah,
that.
man, dog. Look at my shirt. Of course I go to church.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but that's a part of it.
Yeah.
That's a part, meeting
That's
up.
a small part.
Yeah, meeting up with other same-minded believers to fellowship.
Go off how many times that was named in the Bible and how many times everything else is.
Right.
It's a very small percentage
Yeah.
comparatively.
And so you have that, but that's not where all the action comes at. That's just a place where like-minded people come together to fellowship and worship and hear, hear some preaching and hear a good message and something that they can take out with them in the world.
That's a place for me to get refueled. Like, fill my tank with, like-minded people.
And that's one day a week.
Yeah.
That's one day a week. And what are you doing the other 6? Are you filling your own tank? Because Sunday hits and then we're like, woo, yeah. And you got our hands up and we're crying and going down and like, I'm going to do better this week. I go so beat down. And then Monday hits and we're like, I'm done. I'm done with it all. Like 10 hours ago, like something didn't happen or whatever. And so by the next Sunday, we're just like, we're dragging ourselves in our body and we're like, I need a refuel, please.
Help me, Lord. I'm sorry.
Help me, Lord. But during that whole week, you haven't prayed once. You haven't studied once. You haven't you haven't done anything to produce any fruit. You want to reap the benefits and you want to go out and collect the harvest, but you haven't tilled the land or sowed the seed.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to harvest? You're trying to you're trying to live off of other people's and I'm guilty of that. I've plenty of times been in there. Yep. That's right. He's preaching it. Oh, whoo.
He's getting somebody.
He's getting me. But, I'm too comfortable to do anything right now. I like the way that my life is. I'm not going to change anything. I don't want to muddy up the waters and make waves.
Yeah.
I'm smooth sailing right now, And then even with that, even people are like, well, I got my little 30-minute devotional that I do in the morning, and then I'll sit down and
that's a long time.
and I'll sit there and I'll pray. I'll pray, a little bit throughout the day. Lord, help me. Oh. GD guy won't get out of my way. Thank you, Lord. You know what I'm saying? And you're just like, I talk to the Lord and everything. But how many of us are more about our Father's kingdom rather than our own kingdom? How many castles are we building on sand and they're just going to fall down? And then we sit there and say, why is my life like this? But because I think a lot of stuff happens in life. You can't help it. But then there's a lot of problems in our life that we've created for ourselves, and no telling how far back it goes because we don't know how big the ripple effect is, and how far it actually reaches. Some may just affect this, but some may just kind of keep on going. And then, 10 years down the road, you're just now dealing with the effects of something that a decision or something that you might have made, back then or whatever. Yeah. So with morality and then bringing it back to the whole Cuties thing, there is a problem. There's and we've talked about this before. I think there is a big problem with sex in general and sexualization and the sexualization of everything that doesn't need to be sexual because sad truth, it sells. Sex sells, and everybody's buying. Everybody's just buying it up in stock like Armageddon's on the way.
Well, it's because everybody indulges in it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to restrain themselves. That's why there's people having babies out of wedlock, which I understand happens, but it wouldn't happen if you wasn't having sex. That's just bottom line. It just it irritates me so much. And this is one of the biggest problems I have with myself is that I get frustrated because of other people's lack of morality.
Right.
When I'm holding myself and my life to Bible standards. Yeah. And then I'm like, quit being an idiot. I'm getting mad at him. Yeah. And I let it control. Sometimes I let it get to my attitude.
And it's easy. And
these Cuties things tick me off.
Yeah. And I understand that we should have a righteous anger for all that stuff. And at the same time, we have to be able to say, I know I can't hold I'm going to say non-believer, but I can't hold someone who doesn't know about the gospel or hasn't heard it in the way that I have to the same standard. I can't hold a non-Christian to the same standard, because it's unfair for me to. At some point, the standard is going to be held for everybody. I'm not the judge, but I can judge people and their actions and what they do, just like anybody can judge mine and what I do and the words that I say, Yeah. If I talk about it, then I need to be about it, pretty much, right? And so,
Well, being moral is full of judging.
yeah.
Like you have to.
Yeah.
People are like, or I've heard people say only God can judge me or something like
with
that.
the praying hand. Only God can judge
I'm
me.
like, you don't understand the holy and righteous God that exists. If you're saying you want him to judge you,
Yeah.
you need to be talking to Jesus first. Because if his wrath comes down on you, it ain't gonna be fun. It ain't gonna be no. Only God can judge me.
You might need him to block the first blow.
Yeah, and everyone after that.
Going to.
He don't play games.
Yeah,
He
because
real life.
If you think about it this way, Jesus is just, God is just, the same, one and the same. So Jesus is just for sure. Now, when you have the thief on the cross, I mean, what did he ask him? Just, remember me in paradise. Mm-hmm. He's like, you know what? I will. I'm paraphrasing, of course. I'm putting his
I
words.
got you, dog.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, I guess he couldn't do that. But
Like, fist bump.
Oh, my bad. You can't reach. Don't worry about it. You'll get it. You'll get it later. But he didn't take him off of the cross. He didn't take away his punishment for what he did, because he was getting the justice that he deserved for the crime that he committed.
Yeah.
But he did say, which that was a physical thing. So he doesn't take us away from our physical, problems that we face or what we did wrong. We can't go drive drunk and then run into a car and kill a couple of people or whatever, and then not expect and just, okay, I'm gonna pray,
Oh, Lord.
Lord, remember me in paradise, right? And then just be like, oh, well, go ahead then. He's not our genie.
Yeah.
He doesn't take away the natural consequences of your stupid behavior. But there are times that we are definitely shown grace. And I mean, there's countless times in my life when I didn't receive what, I was like, oh, I'm going to be in real big trouble. This is going to be a hard time. And for some reason or another, God spared me from that. And that's what he also is going to do for us spiritually, after this life, because we don't think about it technically. We don't really die. We just go from one location to the next. Yeah, we're just like, hey, I'm moving spots here, So there's not really a death in a sense, but we are going to have to answer. We are going to have to answer for the things that we've done, whether saved or not saved. We're still going to have to give an account for that. But Jesus is there to take all that. And so bringing it back to the Cuties thing, there's a better way, I believe, if what indeed she was trying to convey is, there is an over-sexualization and exposure to that culture with our younger kids, and that's what they're looking up to, then okay, look good. Let's bring that to the light, and let's expose that, and let's talk about it and come up with a plan and show it for what it really is.
They start by having them celebrities start putting on more clothes.
They could. But you don't show that there's a problem with rape by showing people raping each other.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, why are, I mean, that's very graphic, and it's there's stuff that you don't need to see to know that it exists.
I saw something on YouTube. I think it's MCR or M something. It's a YouTube channel, and this lady was walking around and showing clips to strangers and saying, should this be taken off you? And the people's faces were like, oh my gosh, that is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that it said it was trying to bring light to was the thing it was doing.
Yeah.
This is my thought process, okay? I'm a little bit passionate about it. You're telling me that this entire process, don't look at me.
You got the mic. He's interested.
No. The entire process of filming this, no one had some weird feeling in them that this was weird. No cameraman, no director, no other writer. Like this, making a
sure
movie.
They did.
Making a movie just doesn't happen like that. It's a process. Well, you edit and you have to, screenplays and all this other stuff. Like no one thought that this was. No one filming it said, "I don't feel right watching little girls do this."
Yeah, and I'm sure people did have that feeling, but here's the thing:
people need to speak up
when you're in. Yeah, no, definitely. 100%, you're right. When you see an injustice or something like that, there's like, yo, There's a better way to do this, gal.
I'm out.
We got, hey, it's like, hey, I can't get behind this or whatever. The movie might have went on and been made without you, but at least you weren't involved in it.
Yeah.
But you see that's the thing with that Hollywood culture.
Yeah.
Because how many women were involved with Harvey Weinstein and they were on the casting couch and got a role. Now they want to say something, but at the time they didn't want to say anything because what was more important to them, getting that role or being abused sexually?
It's that money.
Now it's more important. Now you want to bring light to the injustice that was had. But here's the thing. You had a choice when all of that happened. You could have said, no, I'm not doing that for a role.
Yeah.
But you chose not to. You chose to say, okay, and now, whoa, hey, all right, I'm a big star. And you're thanking him on the podium when you win your award and everything like that. You weren't too hurt by it. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying what he did was right at all, and I'm not saying, bears got to eat. No, wrong, terribly,
Hashtag
terrible.
me too.
It's a bad thing what he did and how he abused his power pretty much to get what he wanted.
If you have a moral compass, you cannot let things just happen.
Right.
That's how the moral compass peg, like you talked about earlier, keeps getting moved back until all of a sudden you're just inclusive to everybody. Anybody can do whatever they want.
And not even only that, but it's kind of like, okay, what am I willing to do to further my career? Am I willing to go into business with this person that I know is like a creep and they cheat on their taxes and they do all of that? But their businesses are successful, but not because of honesty and not because they got it in an honest way.
Yeah.
They are successful by deceit and manipulation and through bad things. And what's going to eventually happen to that is something's going to happen, and that person's more than likely is more than willing to throw you under the bus.
Yeah.
When bad things happen, so they don't get thrown under the bus. So it's the decisions that we make. We can stop injustice from happening at some points, and then we can keep ourselves from being part of that injustice.
Because if you don't speak up in a way you're condoning.
Right. And I'm gonna say I'm just speaking from a point from an ignorant point of view that only I can, as much as I possibly can, because one, I've never been sexually abused or molested or raped or anything. So I can't imagine what it's like.
That you remember.
What are you trying to do, man? Nothing. There was that time.
Just go to sleep.
I remember that.
I woke up in the
I remember
woods.
you saying that. What was
My flashes. I remember. Not again.
No.
We're so terrible.
It's the aliens.
I may have to cut that out.
So, I can't speak from a personal experience. So, I can't say what it's like to have to go through any of that and then be expected to tell or speak up about the offense that was just committed to me. I don't know what that is like emotionally or any of that. It's probably really hard. I don't know. There may be like embarrassment involved if the person is close to you.
And if you can use fear. I mean, look at what happened during Corona.
Yeah.
The Democrats trying to take. I mean, just if you get somebody scared and they living in fear, you could almost make them do anything you want.
Right. And so you have that, and fear is very powerful. It's definitely got to be tough. Like I said, I can't speak from personal experience.
Yeah.
So I can't say, well, they should have done this or they should have done that. Yeah, maybe in a perfect world, but also in a perfect world that wouldn't have happened to them. So with that, I think there has to come a level of understanding when if you're like sexually assaulted in a terrible way, that's something very emotional. But if it's a tit for tat kind of thing, kind of like, if you give me this, I'm going to give you that. that's an exchange.
Trade of goods.
Yeah. That's nobody forced you.
That's been around since the beginning of time.
Yeah, nobody forced you. Nobody raped you. Nobody held a gun to your head. You willingly wanted to give that part of yourself up for something in exchange for that. It also brings it back to how do we view ourselves? Or do we really view ourselves as children of a Most High God? And if we do, why do we lower ourselves to certain actions and choices that we choose
just to achieve something?
Right. Whether it be I don't want to go into work today. Hey, boss, I ain't gonna be able to make it in. I got a bad case of diarrhea or whatever. Pick your poison or whatever it is. Yeah, I think I made that much this year, with your taxes or whatever, whatever you're trying to do. Like, if we truly believe that we belong to a Most High God and we serve a Most High God and He's looking out for our best interest all of the time, then why do we feel that we have to lower our standards for our own actions? Because if we're supposed to hold ourselves to a higher standard, then we need to start doing that. And I understand we're going to mess up, and I'm not asking anybody to be perfect. Not at all, I'm not going to ask somebody to do something that I can't do myself. But
I'll do it for all of you.
Yes, thank you.
In case you're wondering.
But there are certain things that you can expect me not to do.
Right.
I'm not going to go out and kick babies in the face for money.
He'll do it for free, though.
I will. I'll put my information.
When he needs to feel like a man.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go kick a baby.
What'd you say, baby? You don't know what you said because you're just whining.
Not today, son of Satan.
Hi-yow. Hi-yow. I could take on I could probably take on like 50 babies and come out unscathed.
I could throw a baby over that mountain.
I could probably juggle some babies if they're light enough. A couple of maybe 3 preemies. Those are light.
Easy.
I could probably
easy. No problem at all.
Oh gosh, I'm terrible. But a simple fact, and you can't get away from it, that there has to be a standard for morality. And the standard can't always move, because if the standard is always morality isn't this evolving thing that we're like, oh, we're finding more out about morality and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, murdering someone in cold blood is always going to be wrong.
Yeah.
It's always going to be wrong. No one will sit here and say, like, if you walk up to a stroller and shoot a baby in the face, excuse it for being graphic, but if you do that, I don't think anyone in their right mind.
No, I think that was okay.
Right mind is going to be the key point here. Is ever going to say, yeah, that's fine.
You can probably do it at least 3 more times, and it's totally fine.
Yeah, nobody's going to be like, well, what did the baby say?
Let's unpack this. What really happened?
The baby did what?
He drooled and burped up on you?
Oh, yeah, that's a shot for sure.
Rat to the old noggin.
Ugh. I can't tell you how many babies I've shot because they threw up on my shoulder.
Yeah, it's not like a common thing.
If we try and find our own standard for morality, we're going to be able to come up and justify all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
We're just going to. Well, what do you mean? Why did I cheat? Because it's been 3 months since you've had sex with me. That's why.
Duh.
I'm your husband. You're not supposed to hold out on me.
That's right. That's biblical.
It even says, and technically it's your fault because you did. So if you didn't hold out on me, then I wouldn't have felt the need to go out and fulfill that urge that I can't help because I'm a man and God made me that way, right? So
we adjust our morality and bring God into it.
Hey, come here, God. I need you on my side on this one.
You made me, right? You made me. I know you did.
Yeah. So he made me this way. I can't help it that my sex drive is up here. What am I supposed to do? Only God can judge me and all this stupid crap that we like to do to twist it and make it into like this, ball of what in the world are you even talking about?
We make it into man's morality. Like it's
it's
the way we want to view it.
Right.
It's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
And that's right.
Yeah. And we hate being called out on stuff. I mean, we hate that.
Yeah.
So we start crawfishing. Well,
Don't tell me I'm wrong.
You know, and heck, I'm bad about that. Yeah. Like, I mean, sure, I've done that. Like, well, how do I know that you're not? You know, trying to let's shine that light off of me real quick. Woo, woo, dodge the bullet.
Do you remember when you did this?
Yeah. It's like we don't like our flesh does not like having something over us, knowing that there is a standard beyond us, and that standard is perfect, and it doesn't change, and it doesn't waver, and it always stays the same. And it's hard for us to imagine that sometimes because we are so wishy-washy sometimes, and we'll change our standard, and we'll either be like, it's not that bad of a show.
It seems to be like, even the Bible, it seems to be the human condition that we always can point to someone else, but we don't see that we don't want to challenge our own morality.
Right.
Like, nope, hey, that's not right. You can't watch that show. And then we go home and we watch whatever we want to watch.
Well, it's just like when they were brought out of Egypt, and they were wandering around in the desert. Well, we want to go back. We wouldn't have been having to go through this if you didn't bring us out of Egypt in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all were gone a total of how many days, or how long was Moses up on the mountain?
Yeah.
Not that long. And by the time he come back, and they're already like, get all the gold. We got to make a calf. We got to get out of this. I mean, we're so easy to. We're such a feeble people. No, feeble. That's not the word.
Good. It kind of fits.
We're so easily swayed sometimes, you know. And then there's some strong times. Well, I got a hard opinion about this.
And I ain't gonna change for nobody.
I ain't moving from.
We've
this
always
rock.
done it this way.
Yeah, and so we'll be just steadfast in that stuff that doesn't even matter.
The little small stuff that
No. I don't think we should change the carpet in the church.
Yeah,
that daddy walked on that carpet.
That ain't God's color.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm Miss Gelda. And I've sat in this pew in this spot for the last 15 years. That there's my blanket. I keep my Bible here, and I've got another at home, so no one sits there. Go ahead, open the book. Yep.
That's my name.
That's me. Gelda Fitzsimmons, right there. Yep. November 7th, 1947. That's right. That's the day I was baptized.
That's right.
That's how long I've been serving the Lord. Look right there. That's how long I've been sitting here.
And that becomes a level of like moral.
Right.
Like that's the standard.
Let me scoot over. That's Miss Gelda. Fitzsimmons. Wow. Okay. So I'm the type of person I hate those goofy traditions.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm all about like respect or whatever. You know, I'm not gonna try and step on toes just for the sake of like trying to prove a point. But if a church is so wrapped up in like seating positions, I am the type of person that will sit in a position in a spot and be like, I'm a visitor here. Are you really going to kick me out?
You've been sitting here for too long, lady.
Yeah. Maybe you need to move a little.
Time to see if the Lord's moving on that side of the church.
Right? And so if we don't have a standard that doesn't waver, then I don't think there's any depth that the standard won't go to.
There's no real standard.
Right. Because
if it's always moving, it's not a real standard.
1 year, I mean, because just as an example, like, okay, this year Black Lives Matter, but in 15 years, at some point, what if somebody's like, no Black Lives Matter? And then everybody's like, yep, yeah, no Black Lives Matter, because remember back when blah, 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 and then all the black people, and then what? Now, I mean, the standard changes, and you can't keep up with that.
Candace Owens was asking, like, where's all the millions of dollars that they've raised? Where's it been going into the communities and stuff?
White people.
And the
not
rich,
to be racist,
the
but
rich
I mean,
Democrats.
it's white people. I mean,
and the founders said in an interview, like they have it on video that they're trained Marxist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. we need the rainbow and like
morality just went.
down the toilet. I'll say this last thing, but you also have like how we don't want to be held to a standard. So something that like Frank Turek asks, and when he goes to colleges or anywhere that he goes and speaks, and he says one of the main things that he always asks like an atheist or anybody that's not a Christian, that they supposedly say that they are on a truth quest.
Yeah.
If they want to know the truth, and if you want to know the truth, then you're going to be set out on it.
You search all avenues,
right?
Not just one specific that fits your agenda,
right? Because what he says, one of the things he says is, most people aren't on a truth quest; they're on a happiness quest.
Yeah.
We want something that's going to make us happy because we want to feel good about ourselves. We want to feel like we're doing good, like we're doing okay. And one of the things he asks is, if Christianity were true, would you be a Christian? And mostly 10 out of 10, people say no.
Yeah.
It's because they don't want it. They
yeah.
don't want it to be true. They're not on a truth quest. They're on a happiness quest. And if we want to believe that twerking and showing your butt crack and showing, your booty hole and everything else in between top and bottom, and if that's what you want to believe makes you feel good about yourself and makes you a valuable person, then you'll fight tooth and nail for that.
If you need that, you have a deeper issue.
Right. There's something else. And I think that all ties into the over-sexualization of today's youth and everything, because they see those role models and so many people like them and adore them, and they're making all this money.
They want to be famous. They want to be like,
And so they're like, well, then that's what it is, and that's what I need to do to get that. And if I start now, then by the time I'm already old enough or whatever, then I'm already going to be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Bottom line, there is only one moral standard, and it's not us. It's not another person.
Yeah.
I can't look to you. I can't look to Gandhi. I can't look to Martin Luther King. I can't look to any of these people that the world holds in high regard to say that these are the moral standards right here. These are the people that we need to be like. Now, do they have certain good qualities? Yes. Sure. Yeah. Of course they do, but even killers can be kind.
Yeah. Kill them with kindness.
And what we need to understand is, if we're made in God's image, then there's already a piece of us that lives. There's already a piece of Him that lives inside of us, so to say. I'm not trying to get all like weird or say we're part God too.
Yeah.
No, not that.
Maybe you'll learn.
None of that Benny Hinn crap. And so,
is that what he believes?
I'm sure. I think so. No,
you don't even know.
No. I think he
probably.
No. I'm pretty sure him and Kenneth Copeland have said like we're tiny gods. I'm pretty. You can quote me on that.
I'll quote you, but are you quoting them?
I am quoting them. I'll quote them. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong.
I'm never wrong. I'm a man.
Leroy knows I'm not wrong.
I'm a man. I'm never wrong.
Men are never wrong.
Look at his eyes.
And so, we're not tiny gods, but
I'm a grown man.
We have that within us to where we already know what right and wrong is. It's a unconscious or subconscious thing that we have, and we know. I don't have to ask anybody if punching a baby in the face is wrong. They know it's wrong. They don't have to be told it is.
Is punching a baby wrong? Hashtag the bearded cactus.
Hashtag punching babies.
Punching baby. Me
punching
too.
Baby. Punching babies. We get enough upvotes on this video. We're gonna bring a baby in here next week, and we're gonna punch that baby straight in the face.
If you want to volunteer your baby, hashtag the bearded cactus.
Yep.
Hashtag volunteer my baby.
Ashlyn talking to you. Bring old Addie in here. We're gonna punch that baby in the face.
Speaking of babies, this week we are working with a sponsor that is called Instacart. And so you said babies, like formula, stuff like that. Right now in this whole pandemic, or you may just not like going to the store. I mean, they had pickup before
Are you
All this
socially
stuff.
awkward? Do you get social anxiety? Do you not like having the fear of going inside a store to grab everything that you need, or even leaving your house? Maybe you're agoraphobic, where you don't like the sunlight, you don't like going outside. Maybe that's your problem.
Maybe you can't stand the store so bad that you want to punch babies in the face.
That's a problem. But we have a solution.
In a link below, Instacart,
Instacart.
in under an hour, you can shop. They highlight deals. They suggest new items for your cart. And they also will suggest things that go along with the stuff you already have. And if you spend $35 or more, you will get free shipping. So they handpick it. They deliver it right to your door. Their guarantee is also they will protect your eggs, so you won't get like broken stuff. That's their guarantee.
Boom.
So click our link below, and it will send you to their website, and that link is a link directly attached to us, and that'll help support the show. It'll let them know that we sent you, and you can get some groceries delivered right to your door.
That's like some king level stuff.
Yeah.
Right there. If I was doing this, which I just may, I don't know, it might be my location. I might not be able to.
Well, they're supposed to be able to pick your. You're supposed to be able to pick your stores and all that other kind of stuff.
I live
so.
in a not condensed.
Condensed.
But I live in a can.
Real milky in there.
I would feel like a king. In fact, if I do this, and I probably am going to try, I'm going to buy like a whole king's outfit, and I'm going to wait at the
Like
door.
that freaky looking
Yeah.
Burger King guy.
Yes. And I was just going to be like, well, hello.
Hello, cuties.
Good day. No. Go away. No pedophilia in my kingdom.
That's what he looks like. He
Go,
looks,
go.
he looks like a weirdo, like a.
Bring your kids over. I've got a dungeon-based
Anybody want to
living
go to
room.
the park? I got candy.
I've got lots of bouncy castles. Bring your kiddos over. It'll be a good time.
My face hurts.
King Pedo here will definitely take care of your children.
Call me Uncle Pedo.
Uncle Pedo, whatever. King Pedo. Don't worry about this oddly shaped scepter. It goes nowhere.
Anybody want to touch my scepter?
I don't think so.
Oh.
If now that we've been deleted from the internet, I will thank everybody for watching, and it's been one heck of a ride. I appreciate it.
Check out thebeardedcactus.com to see our episodes and to listen.
Please forgive us.
See you next week.
Only John can judge me. Woo-hoo.
Only John can judge me.
You know John, the guy that works at the gas station.
He's the king's cousin.
He gives me my cigarettes. He's a good guy.
Out back in the alleyway.
Ooh, got them Newports.